Hey, you. My name is Marni, and from here on out, I am going to be your very own personal wing girl. I'm going to tell you everything that you need to do so that you can attract, date, seduce, and get any girl you want. 11 ways a man can screw up a first date. The first date is one of the most important for obvious reasons. The better you do on the first date, the more likely there's going to be a second and third date to follow, and fourth date, and fifth date, and sixth date. I asked a bunch of my women and my wing girls to really think long and hard about the men they have dated in the past and the errors they made that turned them off. After lots of discussion, I have put together a list of the top 11 ways a man can screw up a first date. I don't expect y'all are sitting around wondering how to screw up a first date, and yet I have been on quite a few first dates, and many of them were screwed up. Sure, it's funny, and next day when I'm telling my friends, but while this sordid episode is unfolding, it does not seem funny at all. So, in the interest of reducing future dismal dates, I've made a list of things not to do on your first date. Please read it carefully and do not, number one, arrive in a car full of junk. This should be a no-brainer, and yet it happens again and again. I remember a date whose steering wheel was spattered with what looked like dry white paint, which is not bad, but he wasn't a painter, he wasn't in construction, he was a lawyer, so it didn't really fit in with who he was and what he did. Anyway, the guy explained that it was because every time he drank milk, he sneezed. That is disgusting. That is disgusting, okay? And a huge turnoff. Number two, appear too nervous. I know we can't handle being nervous, but when it has you pulling back and disconnecting, that's not a good thing for a first date. It's all right to be considerate on a first date. It's recommended, but don't bend over backwards. Don't try so hard you end up sweating, and don't forget that you are the host and your date will be happy to follow your lead. No need to be insecure. She agreed to go out with you, right? So that's what you have to remember, that yes, you can be nervous, but use that as something to push you forward and be excited about, as opposed to holding you back and cutting you off from connecting. Number three, choose a bad restaurant or venue. Oh God, okay, so make sure the place you take your date isn't sleazy, noisy, or miles away in heavy traffic. Keep it simple. Most women of any age would be happy at a small Italian place for a first date, unless she's gluten-free. But then you find that out from her and you go somewhere else. The important thing is that you're able to converse without too much distraction. Save your favorite punk bar for a later time when you know each other better. Number four, appear fussy while interacting with servers. Just order the grilled salmon and move on. Don't interview the server on where the arugula is from. It just don't cause complications. Don't send anything back unless it has a rat on it, and live on that, okay? Don't cause too many problems and be super negative. It's a huge turnoff. Okay, number five, name drop or brag about accomplishments. If a woman likes you, she likes you for who you are. You don't need to make flimsy connections between yourself and Bruce Willis's ex-nutritionist to get a date's attention. Talk instead about what you enjoy doing, what you've done recently that's slightly out of the ordinary. River rafting, wine country tours, I don't know, something with video games, anything that really is about you and your accomplishments and your passions, just to give her a little glimpse into your life. Number six, forget to ask questions. Don't forget that your date is a person too. Yes, okay? Even though she is a female, she has a brain, very much like yours, and a heart and soul too. She'd like the chance to tell you about herself. If she likes you, she'll be talking partly to make a connection, so be sure to respond when she hits a nerve in a good way. Number seven, speak ill of past dates, girlfriends, or wives. It doesn't matter how astoundingly unpleasant your ex was, your current date doesn't want to know about it, and she doesn't want to see your negative Nelly attitude about it either. She'll instantly put herself in your ex's shoes and feel some female solidarity. So, dissing your ex is dissing all women, and that means you are also dissing your date, all right? Number eight, ogle other women or watch TV. You'd think this would go without saying, but it doesn't. Do not ogle. I mean, if Angelina Jolie walks by, you aren't expected to ignore her, but your expression when you return your gaze to your date should be amusement or confusion, not unfettered lust. And if your team is playing on the TV at the pub, please do not watch. Unless she's watching with you and you guys are there to watch a game. Then you can totally be enthralled by the sports game in front of you. As well, I have one little note that this suggestion can be ignored if your date is a fan. In that case, you've hit the jackpot. Change seats, order a picture, and enjoy the game. Number 9, ask her if she wants to have children. You might be conditioned to believe that all women want to marry, that they are desperate in fact, but it isn't so. So if you think you can score faster by talking serious relationship on the first date, think again. If you really must know whether she wants to have children one day, I can only suggest that you bring it up early in a joking manner, adding, I always say that on a first date, I find it breaks the tension or something like that. But if you do want to find out whether or not she's on the same page as you, you can do it in a much more relaxed way where you can talk about kids and see what her response is to that. Maybe talk about your niece and nephew or your friend's children, just to get a gauge on her attitude towards them. And then maybe, you can bring that up as you get to know each other better and have a stronger connection. Second, third, fourth date. Number 10, agree to split the tab. If you asked her out, you pay. Even if you didn't ask her out, you pay for that first date. Don't let her trick you either by offering to pay her share. This is where women's lib does not come into play. Okay? So pay for that first date. That's my wing girl opinion. Number 11, not try for a kiss goodnight or more. Yes, you should try for a kiss. There are many ways to signal a desire to give a peck. You can ask, for example, may I kiss you goodnight? That might work. If she says no, just smile and thank her for a great evening. If she says yes, take it moment by moment. Failure to at least try for something is going to make you look like a wimp, or worse, make her think you don't like her. So risk rejection and make a move. She'll appreciate it if she's into you, and if she isn't, well, you'll find out fast. To review, this is not a how-to list. It was a list of 11 ways to wreck a first date. Review it carefully, listen to it over again before your next one. Above all, remember that women are people too, but things that please your manly friends, noisy bars, bodily noises, wisecracks about other women, don't work on us. I hope you can put these 11 rules into play and have a great first date, or 11.
You were listening to a Wing Girl Method production. For more tips on how to attract, date, seduce, and get any girl you want, visit winggirlmethod.com and I'll tell you exactly what you need to do to get the women you want.